Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share with you our personal reviews of cruise ships and some tips to help you make the most out of your next cruise. My name's Kieran, I'm an independent travel agent specialising in cruise, North America and all things Disney, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host Sarah. Sarah, do you want to introduce yourself?
So hi, I'm Sarah and I am half of Cruising for All Cruising with Kids, which is a cruise information website, and the other half, Donna, should be here, but she isn't because she's in bed with a hangover. So you've just got two of us.
Which I think is quite fitting as well. Now, we are going to do the first of our episodes specialising in talking about the drinks package on a cruise ship, and it's the one episode that Donna is actually hungover for, so can't join us. But we have decided we're going to do a series of mini podcasts that are going to do a bit of a deep dive into the drinks packages on board the individual cruise lines, just to help give you guys a bit of a helping hand, I guess, in working out which drinks package may be the right one for you and whether or not you should add it, but also just simple things like how can you add the drinks package as well. So for our first one we're going to do, Sarah has sailed quite a few times with Royal Caribbean and she's an expert in the drinks packages on Royal Caribbean. So I think we're going to start off by just having a general chat about the drinks packages on board Royal Caribbean.
So we're just going to look at the offering first. So we've got the Deluxe Beverage Package and the Refreshment Package. So the Deluxe Beverage Package is, you can't really give a price with Royal Caribbean drinks packages, can you? So, I mean, we've got as a guide 63 from 98, but even that varies. But that is your alcoholic beverage package. We'll talk more about prices in a minute, but yeah, you just can't give a price. The Refreshment Package is a non-alcoholic drinks package. So that's really good if you're not a drinker, but you still want to have the virgin cocktails and you want to have the specialty coffees. Then we've got the classic soda package, which is a great one for the kiddies if they just want to drink soda all day. Now, mine, they love it. I mean, you could get diet drinks, can't you? Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi and whatever else. But that's a great one for the kids because it doesn't break the bank, but you're keeping them hydrated. And you can also get still water as well, so it's not just soda. And then you've got your water bottle package, which is delivered to your cabin, and you can get packages of water or crates of water delivered to your room.
I'd say just to give you guys as well a bit of an insight of how this works, we as travel agents, and I think you can't add this direct at the time of booking. So you book your cruise with Royal Caribbean and then you kind of log into your booking then via the app or the website, which is where you can choose to add these packages on, which this alludes to what Sarah was saying. And the reason why Royal do it this way is because the price of these packages fluctuates depending on the length of the sailing, the region you're sailing, the time you're sailing, and when you book. So it's really difficult to give an exact guide price of how much these packages are. I know for us in the UK, at least anyway, we have some promotions on, and I know it was last year, if you booked last year and sailing into this year, you could add on the Deluxe drinks package for, I think it was £35 per person per day, which is great value on a drinks package. I think it's a no-brainer to get it. But you had to do that yourself as the customer in the Royal Caribbean app or website as well to add that onto your cruise. And then it comes off the final balance then when you pay your final balance for your cruise. What you can do is you can add it, and then if the offer comes on, you can remove the package you have as long as you haven't paid for it at that point, and then add on at the new rates as well. So don't be afraid of, if you add it now and an offer comes on, you're going to miss out on it. You can totally just kind of add it on and take it off as and when you please up until you pay for that package. It's definitely a handy package anyway, because there's very few limitations once you get the drinks package on board Royal. So they don't have a drink per day limit, or they don't have a minimum per day. I think the only limitation we probably should talk about is the fact that everyone in the cabin has to have the same level drinks package for their age category, isn't it?
And also you're up to a value of $13, but you can actually, just going back to the point about cancelling, you can still cancel even if you've paid for it.
Oh, so they just refund it back to the card it was taken from.
And just as an example of that, at the moment, so I've got 2 cruises booked on the transatlantic that we've got booked. I think at the moment it is $67 a day. I've also got a Caribbean cruise book, and that's $77 a day. But I'm in the transatlantic group for the transatlantic crossing this year, and that is $45 a day at the moment.
Fingers crossed for us next year then.
I know. So it varies. It's not just time of year. It varies depending on your sailing. So I mean, before we deep dive into the thing, I'd say keep an eye on your sailing in your cruise dashboard, because that it changes all the time. There's no restrictions on how many you can drink. It's just got to be up to $13.
I think the restriction more was just the fact that everyone in the cabin has to have the equivalent drinks package.
Oh,
Obviously, all the
yes.
adults, if one person has the deluxe beverage package with the alcohol, everyone in the cabin does. I know there are special dispensation, but you have to go direct to Royal for that. So if you have a religious reason why one person in the cabin doesn't drink alcohol, or a medical reason, or you're somebody who is sober and you've got a reason to not drink alcohol, but your cabin mate does, then you can contact Royal Caribbean and they will look at it by a case-by-case basis to say whether or not one person can have it and the other person can just have the refreshment package, for example. But again, that's a direct with Royal Caribbean thing you have to discuss.
And I do get that, because we were once on a cruise and there was a couple and it was celebrity. And I don't know how they'd got away with it, actually. But only one of them had the drinks package and they were both drinking on it.
Yeah.
And it's a
And
bit
that's why
naughty,
they
really,
do
when
it.
you're paying for 2 packages. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the impression, and I was only on the travel agent preview sailing with Wonder so far, so I haven't been on an actual normal sailing with Royal, but I get the impression that Royal are quite relaxed about ordering at the bar, as in they're not as strict as some lines. I know Princess, for example, have a very hard
No.
limit with theirs, where only one person at a time, and they have to see you physically, and they have to match the photo. I get the impression Royal aren't as strict as that, but they definitely do have measures in place to make sure that people aren't abusing it, and somebody, you're not putting all the drinks on one cabin when you've got friends who haven't got the drinks package.
Do you know what? I think they're actually the most relaxed I've ever experienced was NCL, because you can get 2
Really?
at a time, can't you? But on Royal, there was 4 of us, and obviously 3 adults. Joe is under 18, well, under 21, and they took our cards when we ordered drinks, or they checked them. So they did check
Yes.
that we all had the drinks packages. But should we go through what's included?
I was going to say, yeah, definitely. If we want to have a little chat about it, especially I think the freestyle Coke is a big one to talk about as well, because that's really exciting for people who sell it with kids as well.
But it's not just kids, They don't, when you check in and you've got the deluxe drinks package, they don't give you the freestyle cup, but you can go and request it at a bar. If you're with a drink soda, then you can go and request it. They don't give it to everybody because not everybody uses it. And but Chris and I got one between us because we thought we're not going to both need one, and it was a waste. So, but you can go and get your fountain soda because that is included in the deluxe drinks package. So it also includes wine by the glass, and I mainly drink wine, and I didn't. There was lots of choice, and so okay, you can pay extra and have wine above your $13, but I was happy with all the wines I had. Cocktails, again, there's a few cocktails above, but not like other cruise lines. Actually, most of it was included in your package. Spirits and liquors and beers and ciders, your fountain sodas and the freestyle machine. Still and sparkling water by the can, and I loved this. So you could go and just before bed get a can of water. So I know this is a big theme for me that I drink so much water, and I panic if I haven't got some water near me. And I like to have it in the fridge when I wake up, and I have to have one by the bed. And you could just get water all the time there. It was really good. So you had to go to the bar for it if you wanted it in a can, or you could go. There was all the freestyle machines also had water. Yeah. You can also get premium teas and coffees, but not from Starbucks.
Yes.
But I think you know more about that about me, so we'll go to that in a minute. And then freshly squeezed juices. But the Starbucks thing, you know more about this than me.
Yeah, well, it's just the branded Starbucks location you can't get a coffee from. You've got to pay for that out of pocket. I'm not sure logistically why, but I'm sure there is some contractual reason for it. But you can still get premium coffee, and I learned this on my Wonder sailing. I got the impression that it was all barista coffees that you had to pay for, but it's not. So if you want to go to the one on the promenade, or if you want to go into Windjammer as well, the barista coffee shop there, you can get a barista coffee from that location on the drinks package. And it sometimes will say brewed with Starbucks, which basically means they use Starbucks beans, and they may have a Starbucks machine, but it's not. It's one of the machines whereby, and you see these more commonly now in hospitality, where they just kind of push the latte button and it pre-blends or pre-makes a latte. Whereas if you go to the Starbucks location, there will usually be somebody who will do it the traditional Italian style, where they're steaming the milk and all that type of stuff by hand. So that's the main difference. If you want a barista-style coffee, then no, you have to pay for that at the branded Starbucks location. But if you want a premium coffee or a drip coffee, then drip coffee is included anyway in the full board fare. But a premium coffee, as in a latte, cappuccino, things like that, they're all available from the coffee stations outside of the Starbucks locations.
And they are handy because, as we know, as we discussed before, the first thing I think of when I open my eyes is I've had 4 already today. And Chris sometimes says to me, "How can you have a coffee before bed?"
Oh no, I don't know, that's danger.
How can I not? How can I not? Yeah, I think I've got an addiction. And so that is good. That's part of the drinks package. If you're, I mean, I'm not, I don't have to have Starbucks. I'm not desperate for it. But if you are one of those people that we've got a friend like that, you can use your Starbucks card.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
It's interesting because I was watching the icon reveal, and this is a segue, sorry, but I was watching the icon reveal this week for the adult bars on board. And as of yet, they haven't announced a Starbucks location on board Icon of the Seas. They've talked about their own branded coffee shops and a coffee cocktail lounge they're adding, but they're not actually adding a Starbucks as of yet to Icon of the Seas. So this could be the start of Starbucks not being on Royal Caribbean. Who knows? By the time this comes out, probably they'll announce the Starbucks location.
Yeah.
But as of now, there isn't yet a Starbucks location on board Icon of the Seas.
I'm more interested in the coffee cocktail lounge.
Yeah, it sounds great. It's in a beautiful location as well. It really is. Yeah, it looks great. I'm excited about Icon. I think there's a lot to look forward to. And now they've started to do the adult reveal as well, where all the lounges and bars are. I'm getting quite excited for it now.
So, as always, we've got a drinks calculator for Royal Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to work out, this is a really tricky one because you've got to look at your sailing, look at how much the drinks package is, and then work out if it's worth it for you. But Chris and I worked it out the other day on $90 a day, and we reckoned that with coffee, the amount of canned water and cocktails and wine, we still probably would touch $90.
Definitely.
By the time you work it out. But we've also got all the prices of all the drinks, the current prices of the drinks on the website, so you can look at that, work out if it's worth it for you. What's included in the refreshment package? And this is a really good one because we're cruising with friends soon, and their daughter's over 25, but she's autistic, so she's not a big drinker. And obviously, you don't want to get a drinks package and encourage her to drink because it doesn't make her feel good. She will get a dispensation to get a refreshment package, but she doesn't want the soft drinks package because she's still an adult.
Yeah.
So you can get with the refreshment package, you can get non-alcoholic mocktails. You can still get your specialty coffees, as well as all the fountain soda and the freestyle machine. So there is that option if you don't drink.
And we should probably have a quick chat about the freestyle Coke machine as well, because I love them and they're a lot of fun just to play with themselves. But if somebody hasn't come across them, if you've traveled to kind of Universal in Orlando, they have a similar concept there as well. But they're the Coke machines where you can make your own Coke branded drink as well. So you kind of you put your cup in there and it unlocks the machine for you then. So you pay to access it. But then you can have like Coke with syrups in there as well. So you can make your own flavor Cokes. They've got, I think, Fanta, isn't it, as well? So all the Coke flavors they've got on there, iced tea. Isn't there like all sorts of vitamins?
Red Bull.
There's loads of drinks.
When we went on last time, I said, Joe, if I find out you're drinking Red Bull all day, because they had all energy drinks. And I mean, Joe does not need help with energy. And so that was, stay away from the energy drink. So it might have been Powerade. It was Powerade or something like that, Gatorade. But the great thing about them is I think they're genius because they don't clog the bar.
Yep.
So if you want a water or if you want a soft drink, if you've got your cup, you can go. You don't need to go and queue at the bar. So the bars then are freer for people that want a drink.
Yeah.
And because they're everywhere, they're on the promenade deck, they're up in the Windjammer. So there's lots of locations where you can go and access a freestyle machine on a ship, which I think is just brilliant.
I think it's great as well that kids have that freedom as well to do it themselves as well, so they can just go to the machines, operate them all themselves as well. Once they've got their drink, their cup type of thing, they can just kind of help themselves to it as well. So you're not having to worry about whether your kids are staying hydrated on holiday as well. So that's a great thing to think about.
No, and I think that's really important, especially with when our boys were younger. And it, as a parent, it's expensive keeping them hydrated if you haven't got something like the soda package.
Yeah.
And we used to have rules that they used to have so many waters a day, and but one cruise we went on. I mean, this is going off piste a bit, but it was the week before Jack was diagnosed with diabetes. So he was drinking a lot of Diet Coke and he was just constantly going to the loo. And so in the end we said, Coke's a diuretic. So we stopped him drinking Coke and made him drink fresh orange all the time.
Oh, no.
Well, if you're diabetic, sugar doesn't go home.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, we went to the doctors and he picked it up. But yeah, so you've got all those different options as well, which is great. I mean, fresh oranges, I don't think that's part of the freestyle. That's part of the other drinks package, the refreshment
Oh,
fresh
so
juice.
price.
But
So
then there's lots of options.
what will happen is, and most cruise lines do the same thing as well. So you'll have in like the buffet area, so in Windjammer, you'll have juice
Oh, yep,
available.
yep,
But if you want pressed
yep.
juice, so smoothies and things like that, then that'll be in the refreshment package. So again, if you want juice, you can still get it on the full board rate fare, but they will be the dispensed juice from the buffet station only.
Sure.
Whereas this is extra premium juices and smoothies and
Yep.
things like that available from around the ship as well. And I think that's the big thing to point out as well, that if you are on the full board fare, then the majority of your drinks are going to be from the buffet area. So you are going to have to go to the buffet or to one of the included cafes on board to get your drinks and that. Whereas if you've got one of the drinks packages, then the whole ship starts all of a sudden becoming available to you. So it's just, again, just thinking about that. The other thing to point out as well, that outside of the 4 main packages, you can also pre-purchase drinks to be in your cabin as well with Royal, I've seen as well. So if you're more of a beer drinker or a wine drinker, you can then get that delivered to your cabin for when you check in as well, can't you?
Yes, you can. I mean, it's not something we've ever done because we don't really think of drinking in the cabin. We might take a bottle of wine, but
it's more, I know American listeners will probably do this more than you British listeners, but I think if you're somebody who only drinks things like Bud Light or some of the light beers, then you may want to order a crate of them. And again, for some reason, I can't get into our transatlantic booking at the moment to check the prices, but you can go in and you can buy like 12, 24 cans of beer to put in your mini fridge if you want to, just you can drink in your cabin. They are going to be more expensive than if you were paying for them on land. But if you're somebody who wants to have beer in your cabin, then you can totally do that as well. That is separate to the drinks packages. That is kind of like a pre-purchased even pack of beer, wine, or whatever in your cabin for you to enjoy throughout your sailing.
Do you know a question we often get, and it's generally from English readers, is do they have cider and Guinness in the drinks package? And they do. But I'm married to a cider drink, but yeah, and non-alcoholic beer also. So they do have non-alcoholic beers. Specialty dining and restaurants. So your drinks packages also can be used when you're dining. And generally your server, I mean, we found in the main restaurant, he knew what wine we liked, and he used to have that wine ready at night. So it was busy, so he didn't really get topped up as much, but that was on Odyssey of the Seas. But, we had drinks all throughout a meal, but you can use your drinks package for drinks while you're dining. And also, if another thing that parents have asked us in the past is if their children don't like fizzy, do they need a soda package? And the answer is no, because you can get juice and you can get water from Windjammer, but also on Deck 7 where you've got your Sorrentos and your cafe. You can go in there and just, I don't know, you'd have to take a refillable cup, but you can fill it there. You could also take the small juices, the little squirty things if they really didn't like soda.
Oh, like fruit shoots and things like that.
No, our kids have them in the fridge, even now as adults. It's that big. It's well, I can't, is that why I'm showing you that? Is it from the podcast? It's a tiny little thing, and it's really concentrated juice, and you just put a drop in.
Oh,
now,
I know what you mean. Yeah. Like squash. Yeah. It's like squash it now.
Yeah. As a mum, our kids liked having the drinks package. It was part of the holiday, so we always got them the fizzy package because they looked forward to it. But if that's a factor for you that you don't want to get that, then you can do that, and you can, as I say, Royal Caribbean are very good at having water available.
Yeah, definitely. There's they in the app it tells you actually where all the water fountain stations are on the ship as well.
Yes,
they're not just in the buffet, which some cruise lines do. It's just in the buffet to get water refill stations. Whereas Royal, when I was on Wonder, they were everywhere. They were on the main promenade deck. They were on the pool deck. There was loads of water refill stations, so you can definitely very easily take your own water bottle and fill it with water if you wanted to as well.
I'm also going to we'll try this as well. So what ship? Tell me a ship.
Which one's so Symphony of the Seas is over this year in Europe.
Right, so browse our ship, Symphony of the Seas. So what I'm going to do is look on Symphony, because I'm sure they also tell you where the freestyle machines are.
Yes.
Which I think is brilliant, because again, if you've all got the app, and the app's going to take a few minutes. Yes. Beverages, dining. Oh yeah, beverage station. So you go into dining, beverage station, freestyle Coca-Cola station, and on the Symphony of the Seas, it's telling me that there is one in Sorrento's on deck 5, inside Windjammer, and on deck 16, and inside the Park Cafe on deck 8. So that's great. There's lots of places to fill up.
So easy. And obviously you can as well, if you're a water drinker, you can go to any of the bars as well and ask for water as well. There's loads of options to kind of keep hydrated with water and not just alcoholic drinks. But Obviously, if you're paying for the drinks package, you're going to want to maximize the amount of alcohol you are drinking. And I think we talked about it earlier on as well. It's just have a look at your itinerary and definitely check if you've got a lot of land days, then just question whether or not you're actually going to drink your, $60, $70, $80 worth of alcohol per day. I think most Brits, when I speak to most of my customers, they all add on the drinks package, just because I think it's pretty sure that most Brits will make the most out of the money of the drinks package. But there are options if you're not a heavy drinker as well. You don't have to have it. You can just go for like the soft drinks or the refreshment package and then just pay for your alcohol as you go if you wanted to instead.
But I will add to that you don't have to be a heavy drinker, because if you add the coffee and the water on it, it does work out as well. So you've got to work out how many coffees, teas, and then how much that would be on top of the classic drink package if you add a few drinks.
Yeah.
And if you work it out like that, actually it makes sense.
Oh, definitely. I think if you're going to get a drinks package and you do like an alcoholic drink, kind of tea and coffee or like a premium coffee, then it's a bit of a no-brainer because, as you say, me and Phil would normally get a coffee before we walk off the ship. So even if we're spending the whole day off the ship, we'll have one. Then we'll get back on the ship and then either we'll have another coffee or we may then decide to have an alcoholic drink. It's easy to kind of get the most out of that value of the drinks package for sure.
And wine with dinner and wine with lunch. So it adds up. No, it's a great perk, and it's not about getting hammered. It's about having a few nice drinks and a few cocktails while you're sunbathing and a frozen cocktail. And because you've had a few drinks over a long period of time, you're not drunk anyway, are you? So, but yeah, for me, it's worth it. And also, while we're talking about Roll, the app is brilliant for finding the bars as well. There's lots of bars. The Bionic bar is also included in the drinks package, which is another thing that we get asked a lot because some cruise lines with Bionic bars don't offer it as part of it. It is.
I thought that was really cool as well, the fact that you can just help yourself as much as you want, the Bionic bar as well. It's really cool. And that's included in the drinks package as well. And then as well, just to touch upon as well, that you can also use drinks package on Royal Caribbean's private island as well, Perfect Day Coco Cay. So if you do have the drinks package, it does follow you as well. I'm not sure about Labadee, sorry. I've not been to that island, but definitely if you've got it, it definitely follows you as well to Perfect Day Coco Cay. So if you're enjoying a day on their private island, then definitely you can use your drinks package on the island as well.
I think it is on Labadee as well. Let me just double check. Yes, from Royal Caribbean Cruises, yes, beverage packages are active at Labadee.
There you go. So they're both their private islands, and as well you can also use your drinks package. So again, if you're including a stop off there, it's probably worth it. Because I think on one of their island days, you're probably going to be drinking a few cocktails on the beach or by the pool as well. Cool. So I hope that's giving you guys a bit of a helping hand as well in working out whether or not there is value for you personally in getting the drinks package. Definitely check out Sarah's website as well, and she'll drop the link in a sec. Tons of resources on their website, particularly as they've mentioned about their calculator, but also the menus as well. If you want to have a little look about how much your favorite drink would cost, then definitely hunt down their website. It's a great tool to help you decide whether you want it as well. If you are interested in booking a Royal Caribbean cruise, as always, I would love to help you. You can find me pretty much everywhere under Magical Traveller. My website is magical-traveller.com, and also on all social media as Magical TRVLR. And then Sarah, if the guys are hunting you down, where's the best place to find you?
So you can find us on Cruising for All or Cruising with Kids. It's the same website, but linked together. And also on social media. But again, Cruising for All, Cruising for Kids, and you'll find us.
Brilliant. And on that, guys, all the best, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.